The decade was the 80s, and the United States was continuing on its path of rapid social evolution that had characterized the latter half of the 20th century, as a bill enacting Martin Luther King Jr. Day was signed from the desk of President Ronald Reagan. It was a day preceded by over 15 years of intense lobbying and fierce advocacy in Congress for a day honoring the late King after his death in 1963. But also a day marking a sweeping erasure of some of what made King so controversial and successful during his lifetime. Though he is widely praised and appreciated today, King was among the most contentious figures of his time, and the adoption of a national holiday in his name signaled a shift in the public's opinion of him, though ultimately this shift resulted in a misconstruction of his legacy. Most of us have been taught from a young age that what made MLK so special was his dedication to peaceful protest. And it's true that King's strategically anti-violent approach to social justice was a cornerstone of his work. The issue is that's all we're taught. How often are we reminded of King's relentless criticism of the white moderate, who is more devoted to order than to justice, who constantly says, "I agree with you in the goal that you seek, but I cannot agree with your methods of direct action." Or rather, how often are we taught that while MLK remained firm on his grounds of peaceful protest, he reminded us that a riot is the language of the unheard, and pushed us to better understand that violence was a product of neglect and exclusion. Or God forbid we strike a note of discomfort by reminding that King believed in the end we will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends. Indeed, history has shown us that King's method of peaceful protest has the power to bring about good. But it seems the image the general public chose for King back when Reagan signed that bill in 1983, and still chooses for him today, is one that praises this peace without the understanding and progressivism he pushed for in order to make it effective. And until we all enter with this true understanding of and appreciation for King, we cannot expect these peaceful demonstrations to remain effective. Because something like kneeling for the national anthem is peaceful. Yet in the same way that we've been taught to praise peaceful protests, we've been taught that peacefully controversial ones like these are indisputably wrong. Well, this all raises the question. Have we been taught about MLK's methods of peaceful protest in a way that enables us to achieve our goals through them, or in a way that allows those in power to most easily ignore us? From a young age, we've been given only fragments of what is necessary to fulfill justice through peaceful demonstrations, yet the whole world was shocked when it all fell apart this past summer. King is the pinnacle of the power in peaceful protest. Once we start teaching him and his legacy for what they truly were, we'll see that power restored.